Hello, guys. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching me from. Today we are back again to this week market analysis. Adelola Shokoya here. If this is your first time, you're welcome to this channel. We're going to be starting with the most important um, um, data that is coming out this week. In fact, this data is the most important data for the quarter of 2025, for this last quarter of 2025. And if you've been following me on this channel, you will notice I've spoken so much about this because it's been in the news. Everybody has been expecting this. The president of the United States has been, has been for months has been talking about this asking the Federal Reserve Chairman to cut interest rate, and then that's going to happen this week. I mean, all eyes are actually on Wednesday this week. Everybody's looking forward to that day. That's where that decision will be taken. Um, the speculation, in the financial world is that the US will cut interest rate by 25 basis points. Nobody knows, um, by how much that interest rate will be reduced. But the speculation generally, according to the CMA, Fed Watch 2, when you check it, you have about 93% as I speak. People that are saying that, that interest rate will come by 25 basis points. So we don't know whether we're going to see whether we are going to see a shocker on Wednesday. Anyway, having said that, so the key takeaway according to Investopedia, as you can see on the screen, is that we have the Fed officials are likely to cut the central bank's benchmark interest rate by a quarter point Wednesday to boost the rapidly slowing job market. Fed officials will also release their projections. So two things are going to happen on Wednesday. If I go to Forex Factory, two major things are going to happen. Before we go and check the chart, I quickly want us to look at this. The first thing is that the announcement of the interest rate by how much basis point the Federal Reserve is going to cut it. That's the first thing, which most times, if you've been trading for some time, you notice that it doesn't always move the market because a lot of people would have had an idea, and most times it's always priced in because it's been on the table for months now. And last job report on NFPD is already clear that they are going to cut interest rate. And also the review of June, July job report is also very clear that they're going to cut interest rate. But what is going to happen actually, what always moved the market, is that after that announcement on September 17, as you can see right here, where my cursor is right here, that's 1 p.m. Central Time. That will be 7 p.m. 7 p.m. GMT, West African time. So what normally happens is that after this 1 p.m. Announcement, because most times it's already priced in, where the surprise normally comes from is the press conference, where the Fed chairman will now talk about, what to expect in the future. Whether they are going to cut, more rates before the end of the year, or whether they'll be more aggressive towards it. All right. So, but having said that, let's quickly go check the chart. Let's go see how the chart has been reacting to this speculation so far. All right. If you look at my screen right now, I'm actually on the DXY, on the dollar index. What you will notice that price actually has been, because of a lot of uncertainty in the market, especially due to different policy, the tariff policy, the immigration policy in the US, which is affecting the job market, a lot. So there's a lot of uncertainty, and because of that, price has actually been in this range for the dollar index. Although overall for the past couple of months, price has been bearish. But if you look at what price has been doing, it's been in a range. We have not actually seen any significant breakout. All right. So price has been in a range. We haven't actually seen any significant breakout, from what price has been doing in the dollar index. And like I mentioned earlier, price has actually also been bearish for the dollar, right? So it's been bearish significantly for if you go to the weekly time frame, you will see that we have actually been a downtrend, right? And like I mentioned, that was some couple of weeks ago about what price has been doing, with the dollar index that we have been on the downside. And then we can see effect on every other currency, every other major currency, and other asset. Let's look at what gold has been doing based on this fact. All right, you see that gold has been on a tear, actually be on the tear. If you look at what it's been doing, last week we hit an all-time high of around 3,650. If I go to the daily time frame, you see that we broke out of this range. We've been in this range for God knows when. I think it was in April. Since April, that price has been ranging around this zone. All right, price has been doing this, and finally we actually broke out. All right, and like I always mention on this channel, for some time now, gold has been super bullish. If I go to the weekly time frame, I think I explained this on, that was last week, no, 2 weeks ago, when the last time I uploaded, that you want to actually avoid as much as you can trying to pick the top for gold, because the economic situation all over the world, inflation, tariff, uncertainty from the US, has actually made gold a very attractive asset for people to put their money. Countries, not only individuals. I'm talking about countries. A lot of countries are pulling their funds out, and putting their money in gold. Why? Because gold is more of a safe haven for a lot of investors, right? And so we've seen that price has been on. I mean, gold has kept breaking all-time high after all-time high. And the truth is, immediately after the interest rate reduction, going into the end of the year, we are going to see gold keep pushing to the upside. All right. So for me, technically, I'll be expecting, I'm praying that we have a pullback, another pullback. I actually, one of my accounts, I caught one of these move up to this point before I came out. So, and then I was expecting price to do this. Sometimes this market can be funny. I expect that price to do this and then continue, but then price just took off. So now I'm expecting, I'm actually waiting for price to pull back. So how do you, as a trader, how do you intend to play this game? What you want to do is to wait for price to do this, pull back to the zone, pull back a little bit, form what price will do most times, is to pull back and form um a significant support before we continue to the upside. All right. Another scenario is if I see price, price didn't pull back. Like I mentioned, if price didn't pull back, probably we break out and then we test. We break and retest. I'll be looking for opportunity to buy around this zone. All right. So that's how I'm looking forward to play gold. Now for Bitcoin, like I mentioned severally on this channel, I'm actually a long-term holder of Bitcoin. I rarely do buy and sell intraday trading for Bitcoin. Also, because of the interest rate reduction that is coming forward, expect crypto to do very well from now to the end of the year, even into next year. All right, we're going to be seeing a lot of move. The good thing right now is that Bitcoin is still very cheap. Trust me, Bitcoin is still very cheap. And if you notice, Bitcoin is still within the range. Bitcoin has not actually broken out yet. It's still within this range. Bitcoin is still playing within the 107 range, on 107,000 range, and the 120,000 range. So we're still within this range, which is still a very good spot. A pullback and a further uptrend is expected for Bitcoin, at least to test this place around 124,000, to see if if price will hold around this area. All right, that's for Bitcoin. We want to see if price is going to hold around this area. All right, I would say that let's check currency. I want us to quickly check what currency on its own has been doing. Okay, let's go ahead to check EURUSD and see what EURUSD has been doing. For EURUSD, right? So for EURUSD, if you continue with currency, as you've seen the other commodity, crypto and gold. So for currency, for me, this is still bullish because of yeah, the way the dollar is behaving, like I mentioned, because of interest rate that will be reduced. So I expect EURUSD to continue the uptrend on the weekly time frame. Although we've been stuck within this range for some months. Since July. We've been within this range since July, and we are still here. So hopefully, I expect a breakout after that announcement on Wednesday from this range, at least away from 1.118. All right, if I see a proper breakout from there, I'll be piling on more buy for Euro. If you go to the 4 hour time frame, you see where are my counter trend line price actually came out, from this counter trend line and tested it again. You can see a break and retest of the counter trend line, and then we seem to be pushing for. That was before market closes on Friday. So when market open later today, into Wednesday, I expect price to keep pushing it to the upside, probably break out from this range, after that announcement. Having said that, let's check a pounds USD, it's playing out the same scenario. If you go to the weekly time frame, I see that price for pounds, has touched this price at 1.135. It's touched it severally. Let's check it on. It's been testing it since July, and if you look at this structure, this actually look like inverse head or shoulder, which looks like so. This is one shoulder here. All right, this is a shoulder here, and this is another shoulder. It's another shoulder, right? So this is looking like we are about to break, and this is the neckline. This is the neckline. It's looking like we're about to break to the upside. All right. I actually, strongly believe that the rate cut is going to give us that momentum to push out from this range for pounds USD as well. Let's check. This video is getting too long. I don't want it to be too long. So let's check the JPY pairs. Let's look at USD JPY. If you look at the USD JPY, you see that the same scenario. We've been stuck with this support since last month. Price has been bouncing. I think just about between here and here, just about 100 pips that have been playing around this zone. And at that point, I quickly want to say something. I've seen some couple of people online that all they trade is USD JPY. And that is the advantage of trading only one pair. It can be very frustrating. Imagine for almost 2 months, price has not really done almost more than probably, if you within this range, probably up and down, maybe about 200 pips. So, and if you are a trend trader like myself, which a lot of people are, if you are not a scalper, you will not enjoy this market scenario. Scalpers enjoy this anyway. They love to see this because so that they can buy, sell, and quickly come out. But if you are not somebody that like to scalp, you like to see a breakout uh before you take a trade. You will not enjoy this kind of trade. That's why if you've been trading for some time, I always advise that try and add more pairs. But if you are just starting, it's okay to focus on a pair. Or if you've been trading for some time and you have not been profitable, it's also very okay to just focus on a pair till you understand that pair, and then gradually can start adding more pairs. All right, that's that for the JPYs. And then you notice that majorly what market is waiting for is to see what the Federal Reserve wants to do. Let's see, everything still boils down to people are waiting for that news. They want to be sure, and they also want to know going forward, if they're going to be focusing on trying to reduce rates. All right. So that is why you see that for US JPY, a lot of people are sitting on their hands. That's that there's no much activity on this pair. All right. So let's look at pounds JPY. Pounds JPY also, however, has also been within this range. Although we've seen it's pushing up, there's a kind of a slight breakout last week. I'll be looking forward for us to see a slight pullback. If I say slight pullback, I can join this train. All right. Also, if you have not joined our Telegram channel, I'll be dropping the link in the description below. Ensure you do so. I always drop trade calls. I drop trade calls regularly. All right, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. All right, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so. All right, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you.